goosebumps every time, yeah, 713. Through the 281, yeah, I'm riding. Why they on me? Why they on me? I'm flying, sipping low-key. I'm sipping low-key and honest. I get those
Newcastle United. Wembley is a place for
you. Ease my mind, you make everything feel fine. Worry about those comments. I'm way too numb, yeah. It's way too dumb, yeah. I get those goosebumps every time. I need the hype, throw that to the side, yeah. I get those goosebumps every time, yeah. When you're not around me, throw that to the side, yeah. I get those goosebumps every time.
Good evening, everyone, and we are back on Loaded Mag NUFC for the big match preview. It is away days, and we are ready for this weekend. That is the word. Lawless is ready, as he said in the green room. We are ready. We are going to talk all about this big game at the Olympic Stadium on Sunday. Boys, how are we on this fine Thursday evening?
All good at me. All good with me. Got to work from home for the first time in a month today. So yeah, no, great to have my internet back here. So yeah, I'm looking forward to chatting to Dan now about the upcoming game and activities he's been involved in the last little while. Well, Chris, how are you?
Good, mate. Yeah, busy day in work. Coupled with a speed awareness course at lunchtime, which was really fun. And then
wait a second. We didn't know about this.
Yeah.
Explain this to me. What is that? Is that in the UK?
Yeah. So I was caught doing 36 in a 30 zone. So it was either pay a fine and get points, or pay a fine and go on a nearly 3.5 hour course. So I chose the 3.5 hour course. Which, you know, didn't get any points, which is great. But yeah, 3.5 hours, it was quite lengthy. So that was my lunch this afternoon. And then went to play footy, and my brother-in-law thought that he broke his ankle. So that was quite interesting. So I literally got in about 15 minutes ago. But we think false alarm. He can, you know, move it a little bit now. So he got ice on it straight away. And obviously, you know, to let it settle and let's see what happens. You know, we had an ice pack on it, and we got a couple of pints just to ease it in. So yeah, I think we're in the clear. But yeah, a bit of a day in an evening. But so yeah, I got in about 10 minutes ago. But yeah, love having Dan Lawless on. So I could not miss this show. Absolutely not. So yeah, really looking forward to tonight's show. But how are you, Pete? You good, mate?
Yeah, all good. Busy day, but a good day. A good day, and yeah, it's Friday tomorrow, so Friday's always a good day, and we'll no doubt we'll be getting into general talk in just a second. But look, it's away days, big match preview. You know what we do? We get the guest on for our position, and it's always a pleasure. Our first ever big match preview, our first ever away days was Dan Lawless of Lawless Live. So let's bring him in. West Ham Fan TV, Lawless Live. Dan Lawless.
Welcome back, Dan.
No, it's weird. No, do you know what I'm thinking? Like when you paused there, I thought, he's got some sort of mad fucking video, like music video.
Because
no, please tell me there's a fucking Goosebumps Dan Lawless video about something.
You know what I was going to put on the screen, Dan, is I was going to put on your sticker. You know what Billy puts on every so often, where it's just like that.
Oh yeah, he loves that. He loves that one, honestly. But yeah, no, it's good. It's good to be back on, lads.
It is
honestly.
It is. Let's get down to it, fella, because it's not been a great start for you this season. You're in a position that I don't think anyone thought you would be. People might have joked about it, but I don't think anyone would have really thought you'd have been in this position in the bottom three with 9-10 games gone in the season. But it's been difficult for a number of different reasons. But look, just firstly, talking football, What the hell has gone on at West Ham this season for you to be where you are with, you know, a different manager than you started the season with? You know, what are the intricate sort of details from a fan perspective like yours has gone on at the club for have you been in this position?
Where do I even begin? In the beginning, no, right. Let me try and summarize this. I mean, a lot of this started in Moyes' last 2 seasons. We started to see the downfall in the league performance when he recognized that the way we'd play in counter-attacking football for the long term wasn't sustainable because we'd been figured out, basically. And he tried to change to more possession-based, tried to change how we played, wasn't working. Made some bad signings, whatever. So Moyes ended up wanting to leave because they wanted to change his role to a head coach and not a manager. He didn't want that. They was playing shenanigans with his contract, so they agreed to part ways. And they appointed Lopetegui, which no one was asking for Lopetegui. Disaster manager. Honestly, months and months go by. We get to November. He's still chopping and changing the team. Don't know his best team. We sack him and enter Graham Potter, I think, comes in January. And Graham Potter catfished us because we had a great half against Villa. We had a great performance away at Arsenal. We won there. So we're thinking, there's signs. You've seen this little signs. Imagine now if he can get his own squad. Imagine if he can get a pre-season. Yeah. We really see something here. Oh, we saw something, all right. We saw what a complete and total utter fraud that man is. Honestly, my opinion, my estimation of Graham Potter has gone so far down. More than any manager that we've had, from what my opinion was before we had him and after.
Why though?
Completely useless.
Why?
Because, so first of all, right, the Sullivan has to take a big hit on the signings. But we go into pre-season now, and he's playing some youngsters, and the youngsters are looking good. Did we play you at pre-season? Or was it Villa? I think it must have been Villa. Yeah, it might be or Palace or something. Anyway, we played Man United, I don't know. Right. So anyway, we had young Freddie Potts come in, and he played him like every game, and everyone was saying, wow, he looks really good. Like, he's playing really well. We're going to get to see more of him, you know, and come to season, we don't see him ever again. And he plays, like, in this Man United game, he started like the worst possible midfield you could play, which was Rodriguez, Souček, and Ward-Prowse, the slowest midfield ever. And we all said, we can never see that midfield again. Because when he took them off and brought the youngsters on, we looked much better. And he was playing the youngsters. I thought, right, we're never going to see that again. Then we get into the season, and I think it was like the second game in or something. He plays that midfield again. And we're like, oh my God, I think it's Chelsea, get battered. And we're like, this is terrible. We can never see this midfield again. And we see it again. It's like a version of it. It's like Rodriguez. This is a player that everyone recognized needs to be gone. Useless. And he keeps playing him over more competent players. Like Freddie Boy's like, get this guy out. Why are we playing him still? James Ward-Prowse. So slow. We played every minute. It was like 90 plus minutes. You bring him on and bring Irving on. Like, decisions like that are just baffling. Falling out with players like Emerson, who was our best player in the cup final. Our best player. Just honestly ostracizes him, treats him like shit, and like doesn't let him train with everyone. And this is an experienced player that we could do. Alvarez, we had to loan him out to Fenerbahce.
Yeah.
We're loaning him out. We're keeping Rodriguez and getting rid of Alvarez, the captain of Mexico, which had a great performance for Mexico. And that when they won, I think it was Gold Cup. Shit, loans him to Fenerbahce. We get no benefit of that. So there's all these players, like Soufal was willing to take a wage cut to stay. And he wanted him out. He got Creswell, who's having a great time at Stoke. But these are players that you keep in and around the club, you know, because we're losing these leaders. We're losing these voices, these people that know the club. shipped them all out because he's not this good man manager that Brady says he was. And ultimately, he just was weak and spineless. Like every time I see him on the touchline, we lose. He just looked lost. Nothing about him. Like, honestly, one of the worst managers we've ever had. I'll put him up there. He's not as bad as Avram Grant. He's up there, mate, for me. And now we're in the mess. And now we've got Nuno, who, to be honest, is on fraud watch. He's on fraud watch. I'm giving him some fraud watch. Because
already? Wow.
Because, right, remember what I said about Potter playing the midfield that should never play again? Yeah. Oh, he's like, listen, hold my beer, Potter. I'm going to play in a must-win game, Brentford, a must-win game. I'm going to play Thomas Souček, one of those slow players that should never have played, and I'm going to play a player that was almost sold to Wrexham for £3 million in the summer, Andy Irving. That's going to be the midfield. Oh, we're going to get slow. I mean, that guy, I've seen players run through treacle quicker than that. Honestly, my nan could run quicker than him, and he played them as the midfield with Fernandes, right? But he played these two. He played Ollie Scholes, a player that's a left back who's never played right back at right back. He played no striker. And we got battered, right? I think it was only like 2-0 in the end, but it should have been more. So we're like, what is he? Even when we saw the line, we're like, what is this lineup? What is he thinking? Okay, well, listen, at least he's learned his lesson. At least going into the next game, which was Leeds, right? Okay, we've lost this game. We needed to win that game. We've got Leeds. As long as we beat Leeds, he's going to learn. He's going to play a good lineup. He drops Fernandes and keeps Irving and keeps Souček in the midfield. He takes Ollie Scholes, who we all go, why is he right back? He's never played there. And he goes, okay, I won't play him right back. I'll play him right wing back. I'm going to play him right wing back. And Carl Walker-Peters is going to be from left back to left wing back. And I'm still not going to play a striker. And I'm going to just take Aaron Wan-Bissaka and put him in a back three with the Chuckle brothers. That was his solution. And we're like, what? Like, what? I still can't believe it, man. I'm baffled. What is he doing? He's been sent by Marinakis to relegate us. That's the only explanation I can think of.
No, like, he's been sent by Wolfie. He's been sent by
Wolfie. Yeah. Like, honestly, but Wolfie came on my channel and was going, listen, you're not going to be in trouble with Nuno. Like, and Wolfie was measuring me, going, he's making me look like a liar. He's making me look stupid. all that where he was picking him up. But yeah, man, like if he plays anything like that, any of them teams, mate, I'm done with the geezer. Like, I'm sorry. That's egregious. Play your best. Diouf has been our best player.
Quality. Why did he? I like it.
Yeah.
I like him.
Why didn't he start against Brentford? This is a game you can't be not playing your best players. That's what I just can't understand of what he was trying to achieve. Yeah, like honestly, when I see flipping Irving against Leeds trying to track back, mate, I've never seen a slower player in my life. God bless him, bless his heart. But why are we starting someone? We almost shipped him off to Wrexham, and he's starting ahead of Fernandes, Magassa, Freddie Potts. What the hell are we doing? So yeah, like he's on massive fraud watch at the moment. I said I'm not going to be manager out this season because I can't be arsed with it. But mate, if I see any of this bullshit against you lot, I'm done with it. I'm checked out of the Nuno thing.
Boys, I need to bring you in on this because, like, we've had very much a lawless rant here with regards to West Ham's kind of.
I'd forgotten it. By the way, I'd been like, this has all been gone. I'd moved past it. I was looking forward, and as I'm having to relive it, I'm getting
anti-therapy.
Yeah, it is honestly.
Rather than a rant, actually, we'll use it. We'll say it's therapy. That's a better word.
Yeah.
It's therapy. And look, we've been there. We've been there, so we know, and we'll get into why we've been there next. But look, that's Chris. Come in, like from what Lourdes has said. Like, did you realize it was that bad at West Ham? Because from what Lourdes has reeled off there, I definitely didn't. What do you think, Daz?
No, and look, the results haven't changed, obviously. But no, I thought Nuno was it's gonna click, and they'll start picking up points and moving on up. But yeah, as you said, we've been there. And Steve Bruce is also available, but you definitely don't want to go there, Dan.
No.
We're not putting you down that track, that's for sure. I don't know. It is weird because like West Ham have some good players. We all like Jared Bowen, and Somerville is kind of shining this season as well in the fits and starts. But yeah, no, it's just not clicking for them. And then there's that boy Lucas Paqueta. I'm sure we'll get on to talking about him later on. But so I think there's still plenty of time for him to click. Give him a chance as well. Maybe he's just coming in mid-season as well. It must be hard to try and know what your best starting 11 is. So give him a chance then. Maybe not Nuno out just yet.
Yeah. So no, you're right. And you know what? This PSP guy is not my boy. PSP, he likes the PSP, PlayStation Portable. He's not my boy, but he's asking like for me to say what is the negatives of the players I'm describing. I literally just said it's the slowest midfield. I said you're playing a right back, a left back at right back, and he's never played there. So you have to listen to what I'm saying. You're playing players out of position, you're not playing a striker, and you're playing slow players. So these are the negatives, right? I can sit here for an hour and fucking break down every single player and their fucking attributes, right? But we've got a limited amount of time here, so I've got to get through the cliff notes. But if you listen, right back at left back at right back, bad. Midfield slow, bad. Right? No striker, bad. Paqueta a striker, I'll add that one, bad. Simple, yes, okay.
But the other thing is
good concept.
I think you're referring to this guy here, actually, with the comment that you're getting.
Yeah, I know. I'm a wanker for some reason. Why am I a wanker? What have I done to be a wanker? I just literally just gave you an overview of what the fuck's going on.
Must be a West Ham fan.
Yeah, well, maybe, but he could. Maybe PSP PlayStation Portable can tell us the attributes. Maybe he can tell us if what I've missed out. But yeah, like I said, that's it. If you want to sit here for an hour, I'll go to every player and go, well, he's good at this and he's bad at this. Well, he's good at this and he's bad at this. Like we can do it, but that's the overview of why we are where we are because of those overall issues and decision making. Now, I can't blame. Obviously, the managers get so much blame, but obviously David Sullivan, ultimately the buck stops there because of who he's appointing, the signings, all of that stuff. We've got a squad. I don't identify with this team at all, and it's the opposite of Newcastle. Like Newcastle are a team that work hard. You know what I mean? They put a shift in. They'll run through brick walls for Eddie Howe for the fans. It's the antithesis. That I'm telling you what, that tackle I see Joe Linton do on Kudus, right? Fucking loved it, right?
Yeah.
Loved it. Where was that when we played him? Where was that from West Ham? We wanted to see that going into it. He literally fucking scissors him, sits on him, and then when he gets up to me, just goes, get out of here. And like, what are you gonna do? Like,
I knew you'd love that. I knew you'd love that.
Yeah, like I wanted to see that. You know, it's that's the problem though. We haven't got that fight in this team, and that's the problem. When you're down there, you need that, and that's why we are where we are, mate.
Chris, obviously, Dad's had this say on West Ham's perspective. Obviously, we've heard from Lawless. Like, what have you seen from West Ham? Have you seen anything different, or in addition to what Lawless has talked about with West Ham? Are you surprised that they're in the predicament that they're in? You know, from going, Europa League and regular in Europe, we were kind of aspiring to be West Ham, and we're fighting up alongside them a year or two ago, and then it's gone sort of pear shaped. What's your observations, mate?
Yeah, do you know what? I was surprised because I thought Nuno was a decent appointment. I thought it was actually going to work, to the detriment of Forest. Getting rid of, obviously they got rid of Nuno and then brought in Ange, and then I thought West Ham have got the better deal here. Do you know what I mean? And it's not quite worked out like that. But as we've gone through there, and as Lawless has said, like the games that I've watched West Ham play, the three players that stand out for me are Fernandez, Juve, and Bowen. And I keep watching or keep checking the lineups, whether I'm going to put a bet on and stuff like that. And like Fernandez isn't playing, and I'm thinking, why is he not playing? You've just forked out all this money on him. He looks really impressive. Obviously, had a really good season last season for Southampton, and I'm thinking, why is he not in that engine room? And yeah, I'm not quite sure what Nuno's doing. I'll be honest, Lawless, I didn't realise how bad it was. Like listening to you talk, then I didn't realise how much of a meltdown there was. Obviously, I've heard about what could be planned this weekend, and I knew that obviously the results aren't going your way. But I expected Nuno to come in and really make a difference and bring like a bit of energy to the team. Obviously, following previous performances and obviously the start of the season you've had. But I don't know. I was expecting like you to be rejuvenated, win a couple of games, go on a run. And I
don't think we know what a new manager bounce is at West Ham, Chris. I can't remember the last time we had one, to be honest with you.
Yeah. And Nuno didn't get one at Forest. I know Wolfie was talking about that quite a lot as well, that Nuno didn't get that new manager bounce there either. And it's clear that he hasn't got it at West Ham. I'm going to move on to a really important point from your perspective, Lawless, because I know you've been back and forth with a certain Simon Jordan. If you haven't seen Lawless's content on Lawless Live, go check it out. The back and forth between Simon Jordan and Lawless is like his box office. Get your popcorn out. It is brilliant stuff. And Lawless absolutely holds his own in that. So and top stuff for doing that, because it's not easy to do that with Simon Jordan. Big celebrities, well-known figures in football and across the world haven't been able to do that, but you did. But there's been lots of protests already. I've just grabbed a couple of snaps of protests in place with regards to that. I believe there's something planned again on Sunday for the game against Newcastle United. I don't know if you want to tell some of our viewers about what's potentially being planned and why.
First of all, Alan is wrong, because we'll be going to Cardiff, Wrexham and Swansea. That's technically Europe. Those are European away games. So you're wrong there, Alan. But yeah, Sunday. No, just done a live with Nick from Crossed Hammers, who's from the people who are organising it. Really insightful. So yeah, basically the idea is for this one, rather than the boycott, we boycotted. Cheers, Sophie. We boycotted the Brentford game. A lot of fans did, and now this is a sit-in. So the idea is at the end of the game, stay in your seats. A lot of fans are going to come together and try to be in one section, and just for half an hour or so, sing against the board, chant against the board, get your flags up, all of that stuff, make some noise, because it's on Sky, so the cameras, while they're talking about it, will be cutting to it, picking it up. Happy birthday, Pete.
It's on the Blues again.
What?
3 weeks too late.
Yeah. So yeah, that's going to be a protest, like where we sit. So people who go, I don't like a boycott because we need to be there to support the team. We'll support the team and support me more. Stay longer. So that's going to be another one. It's all about getting attention, from the media. And that's what we want. We want that attention. We want people to be talking about it, to see it, and the voices to be heard. So, yeah, man, hopefully, whatever happens, win, lose, draw, people will be there and we'll be protesting, mate.
Yeah, big moves planned. And look, I'll come to you, sort of, Dad, Chris, on this one, because, for as much as we're kind of we were in sort of like direct competition with West Ham with regards to European places, we know what it's like to be West Ham in this situation, fighting against the board, wanting the owners out, knowing that things aren't going right at the club. Like we can definitely see the similarities there, can't we, Daz?
Oh, definitely. Look at how long were we at protesting about different things. From I want to say even in Ireland, I wasn't at them myself, but yeah, we were promoting them and different things along the way. From protests outside the ground at different places from in relation to Mike Ashley, and then even if you remember back to the paper planes being thrown on the St James's Park adventure as well. So yeah, look, you can relate it to the situation that West Ham are in. These owners just sell up and move on, really. But Chris, you were part of the protest in London that time. You went down to London, so yeah, you kind of saw it firsthand. So maybe go over to you and your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I mean, I went down to London for the protest. For obviously the Premier League turning down the takeover. And yeah, you know what, it was really, really good. And I wanted to give credit actually to Dan and the West Ham fan base, because obviously if they they want to make their feelings known, and if they've tried to do a boycott, and the large majority of the fan base are like, no, I want to support the team, and I do understand that, I do get that. The fact that you're doing a sit-in, I think, is a great idea, because then there's no reason why fans can't turn up to the game, go and support the team, and then just stay behind, and then obviously it's not impacting on the game itself. So no, I think it's a great idea, and hopefully, Dan, it brings some success, because so often fans, they say, some owners will say, oh, it's all about the fans, and we always consider the fans, and everything we do is for the fans. And that isn't, 9 times out of 10, that is not the case. And, you're in a sticky situation at the moment, mate, but just keep thinking, it will get better. I mean, look, at Sheffield Wednesday, you've got Sheffield Wednesday fans coming on, coming out in the public and saying, we're so glad that we've got into administration because we've got rid of that owner. And that's absolutely mental, isn't it? But when you've got a toxic owner, or somebody who is just draining the life out of the club, you'll do anything to get them out.
Yeah. Well, this is it. Like when we get fans that to come on and go, well, what's the point? What's the point? He's not going to go. I use Newcastle as an example quite often. You had Ashley, and it was the same sentiment, and the media gave you guys a lot of stick at the time, and what do they want? Like they do with us. What do they want? What do they expect? And, you was going outside Sports Direct and protesting, and, all the Ashley out there was boycotts as well of the games. I remember it well. And I think it was like, I was at Newcastle. I think it was Ashley's last season or the season before last. And that was when like fans were staying away, and he ended up going. So I use that as an example of look what can happen when fans come together. Like no owner's just going to say, you know what, I can't. What's the point? I've had enough of this. I might as well cash in. And that's a great example of what fans can do. So if it can happen for Newcastle, Birmingham got these same scumbags out. Everton got Mashiri out. Like it can happen. So don't ever say, what's the point? He's not going to leave. We will get him out. Trust me.
The key to that, Lawless, is being relentless with it, is not giving up. Is that some fans and some clubs have kind of gone with a protest, not got the numbers that they kind of expected, and gone, oh, it's not working, and just kind of like giving up. Yeah. You've got to keep going. Like we went through years of just constantly finding different ways to show our kind of disapproval to what Ashley was doing. And it is, I look at Sullivan and I do see some similarities to him and Ashley, because it's almost like the owner knows best. Like it was always like that with Ashley. Like Ashley always felt like he knew best, and he knew what was better for the club than us. And he would get people in the media to almost kind of like back his point. Like I remember famously, like the likes of Rio Ferdinand on TNT, bigging up like Ashley just because he had a deal with him for 5, like his number in his hat, whatever it happened. Yeah. Wow. Whatever it was. And it was just like, it just created a narrative against the fans when the fans knew best. And it was only until the takeover happened and they saw what happened that second half of the season with Eddie Howe and the signings and the kind of the trajectory going up, everyone started to turn around and go, oh, actually, yeah, the fans were right, and we were right all along for the near 14 odd years we were. So you've got, I know you're going to be a part of that sort of like protest on Sunday, but the message I'd say to you, and I think most Newcastle fans would say, is that you just don't give up. Just be persistent with it. Be consistent and persistent, and just don't let it, because he will walk away if he knows there's no way out. If he knows that it's not just going to settle and go back to normal again, he will move.
Yeah, that's it. And they're all trying to get behind the team. We've got to support the team. Now we're in a relegation battle. We shouldn't protest. Like I said, there's never a convenient time to protest. It's never going to be a good time. If we're winning all the time, why are you protesting? You're winning. Like, honestly. And the unfortunate thing is, he doesn't have like businesses that we can go and stand outside and protest like Mike Ashley. We're not going to turn up to his porn set and start, protesting while they're getting on and things are going on there. So, we're at a disadvantage there, but we got the ground. So you guys are really want Paqueta. You guys really want him.
Well, do you think it'll vamp up? Do you think it'll vamp up if the results continue to be bad, or do you think it might actually peace it off if results turn around and Nuno ends up getting a few wins? And what would you prefer? Maybe a silly question, but sometimes, like you've just said, when things improve and you win 2 or 3 games, then people go, I'm not going to sit in tonight because everything sounds, and but then it comes back again and then people do it again. You need to be consistent. What would you prefer?
Yeah, you'll always get those. There'll be drop off. You always get them fair weather lot who's like, oh, I'm angry now because we're losing. Oh, but we're winning. So, let's not upset things. But, I think there's a lot of us that are like, don't care, win, lose or draw, Sullivan out. And that's how you got to be. You can't just do it because then this is the same thing, when people say to us, well, you weren't protesting when you was winning the Conference League. You weren't protesting when you was winning Europe. You weren't protesting then. Well, it's like, that's the same thing. So we have to prove that we're fucking serious. And I don't care if we win the league, mate. I don't care, which is not going to happen, but I don't care when the FA Cup, do whatever. I don't give a shit, mate. I'm still protesting. I'm still going to be Sullivan out, still promoting it on my channel. And that's how you got to be, mate. But you'll always get those little drop-offs,
Dan, you've had your own thing going as well this season. Where didn't you give up your season ticket?
Yep, I gave my season ticket up. 10 years, and that was a big tough decision. I remember getting that season ticket, and it was a big thing for me to be able to buy me and my mum a season ticket together. She couldn't afford to take me when I was a kid, and it's like now I'm able to take her West Ham, and that was at Upton Park, and then we're here, and it was just like, yeah, this is I hated going there. I hated going to that ground. So yeah. But it was one of them things of habit. You keep it for so long because you're like, it's going to get better. I'm sure it will get better. And you're like, this ain't ever getting better. I'm out of here. So yeah, gave it up, mate.
Fair play to you. Fair play. Lots of Newcastle fans did exactly the same. Just make sure that when that takeover is close, just happen, get your season ticket very quickly, because a lot of Newcastle fans that gave up their season ticket, who were season ticket holders for decades, are now like literally scrambling for any ticket that's available on transfer or however they can get tickets.
The thing is, I've made my peace of it that if we're ever good, and the thing is, I didn't give my season ticket up because we're shit or just because of Sullivan. I just hate going to the stadium. I miss so many kickoffs because I'm like, I've got to go there, like, all right, and fucking drag myself there. But I made my peace with it. Like, if we're good and I'm in a situation where I go, I want to go again and I can't, then that's I'm at peace with my decision. And I'm not going to be like, oh, I wish I never gave it up. Like, that's just how it is, and I'm comfortable with that decision.
Isn't
this is like a therapy session, lads?
Yeah, it is, isn't it? It is. We need to lift the mood, don't we? But isn't it funny when you look back? All them years, ago to the Mike Ashley era, and it's mad to think, isn't it, that at one point, I don't know if you knew this, Lola, she probably did. Mike Ashley gave away 10,000 season tickets because nobody wanted them for free. Nobody wanted. He was giving them to current season ticket holders and going, just give them to your mates or give them to your family or just take them. And now, imagine that happened now. It'd be like a free for all. But it just shows.
Yeah, well, that's why when we did the boycott, he did kids for £1, which we haven't done in donkeys yet, especially for a Premier League game, and started discounting tickets. So yeah, like I said, they get desperate. So and that just shows it's working. It all shows it's working because they try to counter it.
Definitely. Lewis, I know we're short on time with you. I don't know how long you've got before you need to shoot.
Oh yeah, no. If we need to touch on the game, I'll quickly touch on the game. If we want to
Yeah.
get to, well, you said about lifting the mood. That won't lift the mood for me. Probably for you lot. When we talk about the game, you'd be buzzing. To be
Well, it was either talk about the game or everyone's talking about Paqueta in the chat. What do the? But maybe we can kind of merge it together. So looking at the game on Sunday, are there any sort of major injury news and doubts? Was Scales injured in the last game?
Scales is injured, so which is horrible. But at least Nuno can't play him at right back again. So there's some positives. Fulkrug is still out, which he wasn't playing very well. And then we've got Mavropanos, which is the worst one because, funny enough, he's been our best centre back because the other two clowns are absolutely useless in Kilman and Tadibo.
So I can't believe the downfall.
You loved him. You wanted him. The guy is a lazy shit, mate. he is a lazy shit. Him and his little mate Kilman. I can't stand them. Honestly, they've got to do a lot to win me over because they're honestly the worst centre back pairing we've had in a fucking long time than I can remember. Can't jump, can't run, can't do anything. Like they just easy. Like fucking Kilman just switches off. So really poor. So Mavropanos put a shift in, and apart from one sort of hairball moment against Everton, he's been solid this season. So that's a massive loss. Paqueta, I'm hoping. Paqueta hasn't been consistent. He hasn't been. I don't think he's ever been consistent for us. That's the problem with Paqueta. But play him in his bed. Don't play him up front for fuck's sake. Like we got Callum Wilson there. Chance for him to dunk on his old team. Play him all the time.
Why is he not playing?
Oh, I don't know. Like it has to be something to do with this deal that we've put him on, this pay as you play thing. There has to be something in that there's a reason why financially we're not playing him. Apparently his agent is being frozen out. It's like Sullivan's favorite agent. He loves Salthouse and he's freezing him out because of this signing. So something's gone on, but it makes no sense. Like Nuno would not give him a single second until he had to bring him on against Leeds. And I'm just thinking like he surely, and the thing is, he come on against Leeds. He didn't really get any touches of the ball, but he fucking ran for everything. He chased everything down. If only we could have created something for him. But just stick him on. It's a chance. All the fucking goals he scored against us for you, that's a chance to pay it back and score a winner against bloody Newcastle. But it'll be madness if you don't play him. And honestly, the midfield, he needs to sort it out. Someone asked about what's wrong with Magassa. I don't know why he's not fancying Magassa. He's a young lad. He's 20. I get it. But it's some legs in midfield for crying out loud. Give us some legs in there. You know, it's a player with a bit of physicality. Like what we're going to... if we play any combination of Souček, Rodriguez, Irving, right, then just forget about it because your midfield will just steamroll them. Like it's just a fucking joke. So yeah, man, like the team wise, I just don't know what he's gonna do, man. And I'm so interested and so dreading to see that lineup if it's some sort of clown show lineup. But yeah, so hopefully Paqueta's at least in the 10 and we can see the best of Paqueta. But I don't see why you're desperate. I think fans like the idea of Paqueta, and I love him as a player. He seems to be passionate for the club, all of that stuff. But performance-wise, he just don't do it enough. Hermansen, by the way, add that to another reason why Potter is a complete fraud. Thank God we ain't seen him again. What a useless fucking goalkeeper he is.
He was good last year. He was good.
Yeah, you're local too. You're local, mate. It's I don't know what we got. The guy, mate. We've had Roberto, who I see is the worst Premier League goalkeeper. He's got to be pushing for a close second, mate. Flaps at everything. So yeah, it's a madness at the club. But yeah, so whatever team, he just needs to put the best possible team out, and then the rest is up to the players to fucking put the shift in and fight for it. We've only won, and this is another stat. Shout out to Keith Stato. We've only won 2 home games in 2025. So that is a stat for you. So this is worse than an away game for us. Like, I'd rather play you at St. James's.
Well,
Well, you better stare. Yeah, that's his.
At Lopetegui as well. Of all managers that beat us there, it was him.
We weren't expecting that at all. That's my only little glimmer of hope. Is we weren't expecting to beat you last season, and we did. But like I said, two home wins in 2025. This game is taking place in November. This next game, nearly the end of the year.
That is actually crazy.
It's not good. It's not looking good.
Just really quickly, if you were to choose your 11, what would it be from the squad that you've got below here?
Fucking hell. I'm gonna say Areola.
Okay.
In goal. I will say right back. Kyle Walker Peters been good. I'm going to go Aaron Wan-Bissaka.
Okay.
Left back, Diouf, obviously, standard.
Yeah.
One of the centre backs, stick Igor in there. I don't know if you got him on there. Yeah, stick Igor in there. Like, we don't see the guy, he don't get a chance, but one of those jokers has to be dropped. Now I have to pick. Now I have to decide which one of these clowns I have to pick. And it's the fact that, like,
25 or 26.
I'll go with Kilman, even though I think he needs to be dropped because he's never dropped. I think he'll give a little bit more effort than Todibo. So, God help us. Yeah. And then midfield, I'm going to go Fernandez and Freddie Potts.
Okay.
Right wing, obviously, Jared Bowen.
Okay. Not down the middle?
Paqueta in the middle.
Okay. What, down the middle is almost as a striker, yeah?
Yeah, just behind the striker he's going to be.
Okay.
Unless I've done my maths wrong. Somerville left back. Left wing.
Yeah.
And up front, Callum Wilson. This is what I want to see.
Yeah.
Don't ask me what we will see because I haven't got the faintest idea what the hell this man's going to play. But this is the team that I think we need to play. Right? Something like that. Because you've got the passing ability and the industriousness of Potts there who can break up the play as well. Fernandez can sort of drive forward on the ball, link up with Paqueta, the pace of Somerville and Diouf. That would be good. That's what I would like to see, and then get Bowen to cut inside for the goals, and then just God help us with that those centre backs.
Wow. But I mean, that team looks a little bit more positive from your perspective, if you are to run with that one, than from what some of the players that you've been reading off. Night
and day. Honestly, this team would batter that team that he's played, and I'm not saying this team is ever going to pull up trees either. Like, but it's going to be it's a lot better than what Nuno's been playing, which is mad. He's a madman. So, like I said, whatever variation he plays, if I see Irving on that pitch, if I see Rodriguez on that pitch, if I see players in weird positions, I'm checked out of the guy, mate. I've lost all respect for him. I have no.
Okay. So I know you need to shoot now in just a second. Chris, is there one question before we get his Lawless's prediction that we can throw at Lawless before he goes?
I mean, there's only one question I can ask Lawless based on all of these questions that are in the chat. And that question, Lawless, from Tom Dixon, and he says, Lawless, are West Ham getting relegated this season?
My instinct says yes, but the next two games, you and Burnley, are massive deciders, right? If we don't get at least 3 points from these two, right? So if we lost 1-1. In fact, actually, put it this way: if we I would say even if we beat Newcastle and lost to Burnley, that's a worse outcome than losing to Newcastle. Than beating Newcastle and losing to Burnley, because Burnley are then getting points on us. But we have to beat Burnley and ideally at least get a draw, or I'm not going to be tap dancing for no draw, because we should have beat Brentford, we should have beat Leeds, so we need to win. So these next 2 games are massive, and if we don't get any wins from these, then we're definitely down. But my inkling is I don't see where the wins are coming from. This game is the last chance for this team to prove that they're up for the fight, even if we don't win. Right, but if I see a performance, if I see the team playing it like it's a cup final, that it flipping well is, I'll think this team is capable of digging ourselves out of it. If not, we get rolled over, then mate, just confirm it. Just fucking don't make us play forfeit every game between now and the end of the season, and just give us the rest of the year off.
So all that's left to be said, Lawless, is your prediction. What are you going for, mate?
A lot of it's going to be based on whatever the hell starting lineup play. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt one last time, and to believe, like I believed against Leeds, but I'm going to believe it now, that he's not going to play some nonsense lineup. So he's not going to play some nonsense lineup. We're probably still going to lose because it's at home. I'm going to say 3-1 Newcastle, to be honest with you.
Okay.
And I don't just chat shit because I'm on your channel. I'm going to go, I love Newcastle. And you're going to beat us. And, like me, I want your subscribers to know. No, if I fucking thought we was going to slap you, I'd say it. That's how I really feel.
Wow.
You know.
And normally we get a positive, Lawless. We normally get a prediction of a win. At least, so that tells you where you are at as a fan of West Ham United at this moment in time. But Lawless, remember, there's always that black and white T-shirt from back in the 90s that you can you know, the Jamaican Geordie can come back at any time. You're always welcome.
Well, I tell you what, if West Ham go into administration, which you bloody could happen at this point, I may consider it. God's sake. But yeah, we'll see. Like, just know, if you don't beat us, be ashamed. Be very ashamed. I don't want to see positive.
It's true.
I need to see angry Pete, because you should, at our ground, roll us over easy.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, listen. Thanks for beating Spurs, and thanks to Joe Linton for leaving one on that clown kudos. Always good to see.
Love it, Lawless. Look, it's a pleasure. Thank you for jumping on longer than anticipated. I know you've got lots going on at the moment with protests, with match previews, all the rest of it. But make sure people, you go and subscribe to Lawless Live. Great content. You watch his videos, watch his lives. We'll just watch alongs as well in linked up to West Ham Fans TV. Great content and just a great guy overall. So please make sure you go and show some support, as we always do for our guests on Loaded Mag at NUFC. Lawless, we'll let you go, fella. Best of luck for the rest of the season after Sunday. And we'll
cheers, Dan.
Cheers, Pete. Cheers, Daz. Cheers, Chris. Have a good rest of your show, lads, and good luck for the rest of the season.
Take care, Dan.
Nice one, lads.
Take care, fella. Great to have Lawless on. But we are not done here on Loaded Mag NUFC, because we have this is the buzzer round. The buzzer round is where Newcastle team gets now. People in the chat, feel free to put your lineups for Sunday in, because there are big questions. Of course, we are now quarterfinalists of the Carabao Cup. Lots of players, fringe players, were fantastic and played very, very well. So there are big questions, and big questions to be answered by Eddie Howe on who he's going to pick. But there are also big questions to answer by Chris Hall on his first 11. Daz is ready with the buzzer, ready to press. Where he
no.
What Daz doesn't know, Chris, is that Pete's there with the buzzer, just in case Daz Press is something
Yes.
that I agree with. But
what Pete doesn't know is Peter Griffin. Peter Griffin's in the chat.
I don't care.
Thanks, Peter.
So I will then. At this point, I'm gonna, I will fade into the tumbleweed like Homer Simpson. So let's get down to it, and let's move on to Newcastle United's first 11 on Sunday. Lots of big choices. Chris, take it away.
Do you know what, mate? It's lovely. I mean, and we said this on the last show that what we've got to appreciate is it's lovely to have options, boys. I remember not that long ago, and it kind of made a mockery of doing the selection because it was like that's all we've got. We haven't got anyone else to pick. That happened for a good number of weeks. So yeah, it's nice to have options, and I'm interested to see how yourself, Pete, and Daz critique. But this is the lineup that I would go with. Okay. So, in goal, between the sticks, Nick Pope.
Oh, Nicky Pope. He's gone
Very
for
impressive.
it.
Ramsdale again. He's made 2 starts for Newcastle and he's impressed in both. But Nick Pope has to be between the sticks, and he deserves to be. He deserves to be. So I think it'll be Nick Pope in between the sticks. Left back, nice and easy. I think that will be Dan Burn. Although I wouldn't be surprised to see Lewis Hall on the bench. Who knows? Who knows? But yeah, Dan Burn will start the game. Right back will be Kieran Trippier.
Trips back in after his rest week.
Yeah, absolutely. And I believe, boys, and it kind of fits the narrative of what we discussed towards the end of the of yesterday's show. I believe that the centre-back pairing will be Malik Chow, left centre-back, and Fabian Schär, right centre-back. And the reason I say that is because I know Dan Burn has a nasty cut to the head. And I personally believe that he will be saved for the midweek Champions League game. That's what I think. And I think because those two lads had such an impressive performance, against Tottenham, it would not surprise me to see those two playing at centre back. Okay, now. Oh, already.
Yeah,
I didn't even wait for you to do the 11, Chris. What's
no, get it straight away.
Yeah,
look, I know Botman went off and got stitches, but he was rested the last day. He was on the bench and at the game. I think he's going to bring Botman back in. And I know, the Champions League game, but I don't know, just have this feeling for Botman. For me, so Botman and move Malik Chow down then, so the back to the way it was. So, but it could be either or. That I'm going to be happy with. I suppose this is the game to. And then I suppose if it was a Callum Wilson that was starting, he knows him better, I guess. But is that a?
That's a good shot, that actually does.
He knows both of them, but
I didn't think of that.
Yeah, but either. So it was half a buzzer, Chris.
Yeah, to be fair, mate. Yeah, I'd say for me anyway. I'd say that's probably the most difficult one to predict because it could be either or. And to be honest, I would be happy with either or as well. We've got 4 really, really good centre backs now, which is a great option to have. Not downplaying Jamal Lascelles either, but we've got 4 really, really good starting centre backs, so it's a nice option. Right, in the holding position, it has to be for me, Sandro Tonali. Has to be.
Yeah.
Has to be. The right side of midfield will be our captain, Bruno Guimaraes.
Nice and rested.
Yeah, absolutely. And for me, do you know what as well? And I was even a little bit 50-50 even at the start of the show, but kind of what Dan Lawless has said, it's kind of made my decision for me, in terms of that slow midfield. I mean, I know Dan's put out a really, his preferred side there, and he would like to see this side, but if he does put out the slower midfielders, this would make me even more encouraged to put Jacob Ramsey in left centre mid. because I think Jacob Ramsey could cause all kinds of chaos. And again, I'm thinking of the Champions League, and I'm thinking Joe Linton saved the midweek Champions League game, where I think he might be needed more. I don't know, but that's what I pick, especially with us being away from home. Up front, nice and easy one. Big Nick energy has to be through the middle. Left wing, I think Anthony Gordon comes back into the team. And this might be a controversial one, I don't know, between you both. But for me, someone else who has to come back in is Jacob Murphy. I would be playing Jacob Murphy right wing. And that is my 11 for West Ham.
Okay. That's you're right. You're right to reply here. What do you think about the lineup? Anything you would change? Any question marks there?
No, there isn't really. Look, there's. I've talked about the centre back pairing. You could look at bringing Joe Linton in instead of Ramsey, but no, I'm happy to give Ramsey another shot there and have J7 on the bench, and as I said, the Champions League in mind. No, I definitely want Murphy in there at right back. Lang still hasn't done enough for me to warrant a place back in the starting in the Premier League games. So it's Jacob Murphy, and he's nice and rested as well. Gordon is nice and rested. And then I suppose as well, the good thing is that if we put out our best 11 here, you could start taking them off if we were doing well and like we're 2 goals up or something like that. Then time to rest a few ahead of the Champions League game. So, but no, happy to go with this on Sunday. I'm
gonna Pete, just before we come to you for the final critique, I'm gonna bring up a couple of comments. Aaron Kane says it's Ramsey time. Sophie B says Tonali will be rested, Miley will play. What else have we got? Just a few comments. Tom Dixon says his team will be Pope, Trippier, Chow, Botman, Bain, Miley, Gimenaish, Bruno, Joe Linton, Murphy, Gordon, and Baltimore. So yeah, there's a couple of shouts in there. John Burbeck, Trippier. So John Burbeck starting Alan Ramsdale, but he's saying Trippier, Chow, Botman, Big Dan, Ramsey, Tonali, Bruno, Gordon, Big Nick, and Murphy. So interesting. John's putting Adam Ramsdale in between the sticks. And last two very quickly. Peter Griffin saying Pope, Trippier, Chow, Botman, Byrne, Gimenaish, Tonali, Ramsey, Murphy, Gordon, Big Nick, Energy. And Aaron says Pope, Trips, Chow, Botman, Byrne, Tonali, Ramsey, Bruno, Murphy, Baltimore, and Gordon. But Pete, what are you saying, mate? What are you saying to that 11?
Yeah, there wouldn't be too much that I would change from this if I'm being honest with you. That would look, first of all, like the fullbacks stay as they are. Nick Pope is back in goal. I would actually keep that centre back pairing for this game. I actually think going away from home is very different to being at home, and I think it's no slant on Shaw, but I just think that centre back pairing has been so good. I would want that to be our centre back pairing away from home. I just think you've got a lot more to keep a team quiet. Sandro Tonali has to come back in for me, and I understand what Sophie was saying about maybe resting Sandro, but Sandro's been rested almost for a week already. He barely kicked a ball, against. He didn't play at all against Benfica. He only got a few minutes against Fulham, and then he's come back in fully fit now against Tottenham. I think when Sandro Tonali is fit to play, I think he starts. I think there's very rarely going to be a game when Newcastle United rest Tonali, and obviously his illness was the reason before. So I think Sandro Tonali comes in this game, and there's a reason why, and it's because of that partnership there. I think Sandro Tonali will be given the instruction to keep this man quiet. He hasn't been great. He has been inconsistent, but Lucas Paqueta tends to have a good game against Newcastle United. And I think Sandro Tonali needs to come in to keep him quiet. Both keep him. Sandro Tonali can go pace for pace with Paqueta. He's just as strong as him. He can mix it up, but equally he can hold possession in those areas to stop Paqueta getting on the ball. Bruno Guimaraes has to play, and he will anyway as captain. I'm not against Jacob Ramsey starting. I've been calling for it for a while. As I said, Max reaction last night, I genuinely think this is it now, is that Ramsey will be pushing Joe Linton for a start in this first team. And I actually think, Joe Linton does play well away at West Ham. He does have good games against West Ham. So that would be my only thought, to bring Joe Linton in, because traditionally he does play well there. He's got a skill set that can disrupt West Ham's midfield. But actually, for me personally, I need to see more of Ramsey. I need to see him more in this team, especially alongside Tonali and Bruno. So I would start him here, but I would then start Joe Linton against Bilbao on Wednesday. That would be my thinking in it, is that I think one of them plays in one game. It's either Joe Linton Sunday, Ramsey Wednesday, or it's the other way around. And I would actually go with somebody. And the reason why I'm going with Ramsey is because technically on the board, he's better. He makes better intelligent runs. He can hold possession. And away from home, being good in possession is absolutely key for Newcastle United in winning matches. Is that you've got three players there that are very comfortable on the ball, can play through the passing lines and make good passes, make good runs, make good connections. And I think that is going to be key to winning this battle. Gordon has to start, goes without saying. Barnes was good, I thought, yes, last night, but Gordon's the number one choice, and he has to be. Just need to see that performance from him. Nick Voltemade, it goes without saying. I would actually do it the other way around, lads, in my opinion. I would start Elanga on Sunday and play Murphy on Wednesday. I just think Murphy at St. James's Park is a different animal as to away from home. I think at St. James's Park, he's way more effective. And I would much rather him play in that Champions League game, because I think he could make more of a difference in that game than he could against West Ham. That's not to say he wouldn't play well against them, but if we're looking at resting players, and we don't know whether his Achilles injury has fully healed yet, because that's been part of him being rested recently. We don't know if that's cleared up. So it could well be. Elanga did all right. He wasn't bad. He could have scored and took away some of his chances, but his overall gameplay was okay. I would play him against West Ham, where I think he might get quite a bit of joy, and then play Murphy in the Champions League game, where I think that little bit of know-how, that little bit of quality in his final ball is going to be more effective against Bilbao, where we're going to need him. Because I don't think that Murphy will play on Sunday and then Wednesday. I think he plays one, and I would rather him play Bilbao. So that's my only thinking in terms of selection. But look, hey, if Murphy starts on Sunday, I'm not mad at it, because ultimately, and you boys have said it, he deserves to start, because he's bloody good. But we're obviously, if we're managing him and we're looking after him, that's a different story. So I'm willing to keep that 11 as it is, because I would like that 11. But I'm just giving my sort of perspective on one or two players from the Ramsey situation, and obviously the Murphy. Everything else is as is.
You know what? You raised a really good point there, Pete, because, and that kind of came into me thinking with Ramsey, when you were talking about the technical ability and stuff like that. Like, this game to me feels like a game where technical ability over maybe pace or power. And I think as well, that's why I went Murphy rather than Elanga, because I'm thinking it's a funny one, isn't it? Because Lawless mentioned, didn't he wanted to see fight, he wanted to see battle. And I'll be honest, I'm not sure we're going to see that from West Ham. I'm really, really not sure. And this is why I think it's probably more of a technical game, because I think we can tear them apart just literally by, with our technical quality and being good on the ball. And that midfield three, depending on what Lawless's midfield three is, I'm excited now. I can't wait to see what the West Ham's midfield
the team sheet. Yeah,
I can't wait. Because if that's the case, then we see the Souček and we don't see Fernandez, and we see Irving and we don't see Potts. all of a sudden I'm thinking, do you know what? You know, we can absolutely win this battle in midfield, and all we've got to do is just get that ball up top. And then obviously, you know, if the defence is a little bit shaky at the back, you could arguably see, and I think we said this yesterday, didn't we, boys? That, you know, like, it could be a cricket score. It genuinely could, because if that fan base turns against them, which quite possibly it will. So, and this is why I expect Eddie to go out early and say, right, put this game to bed as early as you can, and then that's when we see the subs coming on. We see players getting rested, because for me, the Bilbao game, this Premier League game is incredibly important, and we need to improve in the Premier League. We need to get our results in the Premier League. But you then also look at the Champions League and think we've got a great opportunity, boys. Plus a 1.8 million, by the way. We've got a great opportunity to go and get 3 points, stay in that top 8, and really show everyone in Europe. Now Newcastle mean business here. If we win our own games, you know, in the Champions League, we've got some very winnable home games coming up. We've had Barca, that's out the way now. Difficult game. You know, we can all but secure ourselves in that top 24. And, like, you know, it's a juggling game, isn't it? Real juggling game. And that's why I think Sophie made a really good point earlier, because you could see Marty coming in. You know, and he has proven himself this season. You know, he's come in and done a job in that number 6. So, and this is the lovely thing, boys. This lineup could be many things. Go on, Dan.
Yeah. No, I'm agreeing with you, Chris, because like for the first time in forever, we have that luxury to be able to have two players in every position, to some degree, especially when we get up some of them back as well, with Hall and Tino back. But even with Waltman, we'll bring on Asula as well, give him a break, and get him ready for the Champions League game. And we will have eventually have Wisa in there as well. So we're going to have. It's great to have these options, and it does make the business done in the summer then all that better, because we have a squad to choose from now. Like the last time we were in the Champions League, we didn't. It was the same 11 every week until they all started falling apart. But So agreeing with what you're saying, Chris.
Yeah, absolutely. This is it. This is what Eddie Howe's blueprint was going into the start of the summer. We may have took a few different roads and a few bumps on the way to get there, but we have arrived. We have arrived. We have a squad that is capable of seeing us through this season. And look, not just Eddie Howe's recruitment, but James Bunce, who I think has been an absolute godsend to Newcastle United in the last year since he signed for us. And he's heavily involved. We've now got Ross Wilson, that's going to be heading up a lot of recruitment stuff. And you know, Wolfie again was waxing the record about Ross Wilson and what he did at Forest again on Tuesday in Top Table Talk. So, you know, we've got the right people around us and we're in a great position. But this squad of players, providing we keep them fit, and lots of people have been saying in the chat about Lewis Hall. I believe Lewis Hall will be in the squad on Sunday. Yeah. And someone mentioned in the chat, and I can't remember who, I apologize, I've forgotten the name, but it would be great to have this game wrapped up early where Lewis Hall can come on and get 15 minutes, 20 minutes or so under his belt, because I think he needs it. He needs to get back up and running in this team. There you go, Aaron. Great stuff. I agree with you 100%. That would be the ideal situation. Give Burn a rest, get Hall on, and let's see out this game and give him some minutes under his belt ahead of Champions League and Brentford. So, yeah, we're in a great position. Some people have questioned about Voltemeda. For me, he's just showing that he's rising to the occasion. He seems like he's ready to go. He's been managed really well, but he looks fit and ready to play every minute of every game if needed. And he has to start for me. I would look. You know what? I said it last night. I say it again. I would love Voltemeda to get a couple on Sunday. You know, not just get his customary one goal, but if he could get a couple on his belt. But the one thing I'll say is maybe a talking point is that I want Nick Voltemeda to be taking penalties if and when we get one. I want him to be scoring as many goals as possible.
Gordon's going to have something to say about that, though.
He will. He will, but for me, I want my strikers taking penalties. I was listening to a video actually today of Alan Pardew talking about the game against Spurs, and talking that he does generally, he always has, even since he left the club, talks very positively about Newcastle United. And he said, one of the things that he'd always want in his striker is to be taking penalties. And I'm the same. I've always wanted a striker to take penalties. They should want to take penalties, and he does. So for me, he should be the number one penalty taker, and then Gordon after him, as it falls back. But that's a different kind of talking point there. But let's see if this lineup falls into what it is. That there is the best West Ham lineup they could possibly put together. So it could only go downhill from there. So if we see on Sunday that Nuno's threw a few bombs in there, that could only be to the positive of Newcastle United and to the detriment of Dan Lawless. But I've got a few things to ask you boys before we wrap. And people in the chat get involved in this. Lots of talk in the chat about Lucas Paqueta. And it was reported that Lucas Paqueta has asked to leave West Ham United in January, so not too far away. My question to you boys and people in the chat is, would you take Lucas Paqueta at Newcastle United? What do you think, Daz?
How many years now have we been talking about Lucas Paqueta? All the time since he was looking at the schools, I suppose, in Newcastle, and we ended up getting Bruno Guimaraes. He is. How much would we have to pay for him? Like, because I'm not paying anywhere close to 60 million or anything like that was talked about this summer. 35 million. I take him, but the other thing is, I don't want him to just disrupt Bruno in any way, distract him from his job. So yes, I take him, but it'd have to be a good deal for us, and he's going to come and he's going to need to demand high wages as well. So 35 million to 40, but I'm not going north of 50 for him. Is it 28? I think he is.
Yeah, 28.
Yeah, 28.
He is 28.
Yeah.
Similar. Yeah. I think he was about a year older than Bruno. I think Bruno's going to be 28 soon. I think they were around similar age. But Chris, your thoughts on Lucas Paqueta?
Yeah, I've kind of got two answers to this. So, me personally, yeah, I'd take him. I actually think it would be mouth-watering seeing Lucas Paqueta in the number 10 behind Nick Voltemade. I think it'd just be absolutely lethal because they'd just be finding each other. And Lucas Paqueta, I think Lucas Paqueta is that player who can pull strings, find those little cute passes. And I think Nick Voltemade would love to play with him. I really, really do. And obviously Bruno would, and I'm sure Joe Linton would as well. My ideal scenario would be, and I'd love to pose this question to West Ham. My ideal scenario would be to see if we can shift Joe Willock to West Ham and bring Lucas Paqueta to Newcastle. That would be my ideal scenario. My other answer is, do I see, or if you were to ask Pete, do I see us signing him? I would say no, because I do agree to a degree with what Aaron King said. Where's Aaron? Where are you, Aaron? He says, for the Brazil vibes, yes, but I don't see where he fits into our system now. I may sound like I'm contradicting myself there, but it could potentially cause a few issues for Eddie Howe. And what I mean by that is, for me, if we keep the current system, he would have to be on the right side of the midfield three. And then who plays on the right side of the midfield three? That would be Bruno Guimaraes. If we then change up the system, it's like, well, we play with 4 at the back, we play with 3 in the middle, we have Sandro in the holding. It's then like, well, would we sacrifice one of our wingers? How would we get him into the team? And I fear that if we go too attacking, it could be to our detriment. So it's a tough one. It's a big squad game, isn't it, football? It's a really, really big squad game. And I think Lucas Paqueta would crawl to Newcastle United, if I'm honest. But I just don't know whether Eddie Howe would take the plunge on him, because I feel like if he really wanted him, he would have had him by now. Because we saw, didn't we, in the summer when Lucas Paqueta scored, and his celebration when he was in the corner and he picks the phone up and then he's like, nah.
Yeah.
And that was allegedly for Aston Villa. But I don't think he would have said nah if it was Eddie Howe on the other end of the line. But yeah, I just feel like there's been a couple of opportunities where Newcastle could have just swooped in, and the fact that we haven't would kind of indicate to me that I don't expect us to do it either. But I would love, don't get me wrong, I would love Lucas Paqueta in this squad, because I think he would bring a new dimension to this team. It would give Eddie Howe a big headache, but I'd love to see him in the squad, because I think he'd be brilliant.
Just to get one last point, no, I agree with what you're saying, Chris. Again, I think it has sailed a bit though. This one, Lucas Paqueta, like it was that was probably the final straw that it didn't happen this summer. So I think, and now that we have Nick Waterman, I see, rather than seeing you're kind of putting Nick Waterman in the number 9 position there, I see him more as a kind of a 10 already, and I'd have someone else in front of him if I was building a team. And okay, we have Wisa, but again, if we're going to invest money, I'd rather go for a younger striker up ahead and have Nick Waterman play behind him. So
it's also as well.
It's
a really good point you make, because it almost, and this sounds really negative, and I hope you both get what I mean, but it is a bit of a dead signing, in the sense that you bring him in and you're not going to get any resale value on him. You're just not. You bring him in because you want him, and you want him for the next 3 or 4 years, and that's why you're bringing him in. I mean, you may get an offer from Saudi when he's 32, 33, and he wants to go there, and maybe that would work out. I don't know, but yeah, you're not going to turn a profit on 28-year-old Lucas Paqueta, who's also got a little bit of a history, which we won't go into. But some clubs will automatically be turned off from that. So yeah, and that's why, given this, PSR world that we're in, and trading's a big thing, like you guys, I expect us to be a little bit more youthful with our signings. But what do you think, Pete? I know you asked the question, you're intrigued. What do you think, mate? Where are you with this?
Yeah, I've always been a big fan of Lucas Paqueta. I've wanted him at Newcastle United, but I think we've moved on from him now. Personally, I don't see us going in for Lucas Paqueta. I think someone mentioned that he wouldn't fit the system. He absolutely would fit our system, and we would find a place for him if we were to sign him. But I just think this team has moved on from him now. You look at the way being honest with you, I think for me, I get the feeling it was either Lucas Paqueta or Jacob Ramsey in the summer.
Really?
I think it was either one or the other. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if Newcastle United tried to sign Lucas Paqueta in the summer. It was clear that he could go. It was clear that there was a chance he could leave West Ham, and he was very close to leaving to go to Aston Villa. That tells you how close that deal was. But I think the finances in the deal, all this ringing phone down business is nonsense. Lucas Paqueta would have left like that from West Ham in the summer. And I think it was the finances of the deal which meant it didn't happen. For me, I think it was either go and get Lucas Paqueta, but the money was probably a little bit more expensive, or get Jacob Ramsey, who's a little bit younger, got some potential to grow and develop, a cheaper price, and you move forward with somebody like him who could turn into an England international. And we know that Eddie Howe loves his England international players, or potential England international players. So I don't see there a window where he comes to Newcastle United. He will. Look, there's no surprise that Man City were very close to signing him. There's a reason for that, because he is technically excellent. Don't go off what you're seeing from West Ham United right now. As you heard from Lawless tonight on our show, West Ham are a mess. This is not a true reflection of Lucas Paqueta. He is a very, very good player. But at 28 years old, I'm not convinced that Newcastle United would pay the sort of money that West Ham would want to get him out of the club. I actually think Aston Villa will. I think Aston Villa will go back in for him in January and potentially pay that money. For me, I'd be looking in a different direction. I would be looking I love Damsgaard. I think Damsgaard is a fantastic player. However, I would be thinking, if you look at the mindset of Newcastle United, if you look at the expectations that Newcastle United have in terms of their remit of signing new players, you've got that. I would love, but that ain't happening, Craig. Man United are not selling Kobe Manu to Newcastle United. As much as I keep talking about it, as much as I'd love it, I just don't. There's not a world in which Kobe Manu, in my opinion, signs for Newcastle United. Not that he wouldn't want to. I think he would love to sign for Newcastle United, but I don't think Man United would sell him to us. I think Man United would do what they did with Scott McTominay. They would much rather sell him abroad and move him on abroad, out of sight, out of mind, than keep him in the Premier League and sell him to effectively a rival. Because I think that's where we will be. I think Man United will be a rival to us this season. But if you're asking me, I know we just signed a new deal. I talked about him last week. There's someone by the name of Josh King that you could sign and develop at 18, 19 years old. Someone that could play in that midfield position, someone that you could hone and grow and develop into a player. You might have to pay a little bit of money for him. You might have to pay the odd 40 plus million, but you could potentially get a top player, someone like Josh King. And that's who I think Newcastle should go for as an attacking midfielder. That's just my opinion on that. So I think the ship has sailed with Lucas Paqueta, but it is a constant conversation. So I just wanted to bring that up. Some positive news. Yeah, some positive news before we wrap. Jones won't be leaving Newcastle United. It was being linked that Graham Jones was going to be potentially moving to Sweden on a part-time basis with Graham Potter, but he has said that he is going to stay. Newcastle United have made it clear that they want him to stay, and that's how it's going to be. So he was, I think, as far as I'm aware, he was quite a positive influence on Will Asula, and he's been doing a lot of one-to-one work with Will Asula. And in addition to that, Will Asula is staying put. He's not leaving in January, as Craig Hope has said tonight. So he's not going to be leaving. He's going to be staying the season at Newcastle United, as Craig Hope has reported. Obviously, Frankfurt were looking at him. Eintracht Frankfurt were looking at him and were interested in going back in for him, but it seems like Newcastle United are not going to allow him to leave in this January window. So I just wanted to get your thoughts, particularly on that, on Will Asula than anything else. What are your thoughts on Will Asula staying at Newcastle United? Newcastle United seemingly are keeping him at the club and he's not going anywhere. Initial thoughts, Daz?
For now, I think things can change again. Look, he did come on and did great, as you guys said it in that reaction show, and he was pivotal in Bruno getting that goal against Fulham. He has a role to play, because we don't know what kind of condition Weiss is going to be in when he does take to the pitch first, and if he's going to hit the ground and run and get his 15 goals I've demanded of him for this season. But Grahamie Jones, no, want him to stay. He's the one of the last remaining members of the old era, but he's played a big part, I think, in this era, and he's Eddie Howe has spoken highly of him as well. He's very much part of his plans now as well. So no, happy Grahamie Jones is staying.
Chris, your thoughts on Asula and similarly Graham Jones as well?
I don't believe it. I do not believe it. I think that is very very clever mind games, because we all know, boys, everyone's got the price. And for 30 million, probably not. And we've already spoken about Will Asula's price going up. I think if it was 35, 40 million, I think they'd take it. I think they'd take it, because it's a chance to bring in significant funds. We paid 15 million for Will Asula. So if we were to get, say, 40 million or loan with an obligation to buy for 40 million, I think the club would snap their hands off. I do, because the fact that we were willing to do a deal with Frankfurt in the summer spoke volumes to me. Yes, he's come on. Yes, Graham Jones has been working with him. That's brilliant. But again, to go back to what I said earlier, in this PSR world that we live in, let's be honest, when Johan Visser, I forget who said it, it might have been one of you boys or someone in the media, I don't know who, but when Johan Visser comes into this team, Will Asula is a third choice striker. And, say Nick Voltemada gets injured, God forbid, hope that doesn't happen. Say Johan Visser is away with Congo. Pete, don't get angry at me. If we've got Will Asula up front, are you confident going into a City game, a Liverpool game, an Arsenal game? I don't know. And I just think that is the club kind of saying, listen, if you want him, you're paying big, because we're not taking 30 million anymore. That, to me, that's what that sounds like. Could be wrong. I could be wrong. It might be that they're not entertaining any offers, but I think if a really big offer come in, and when I say really big, I'm talking like 35+ million. I think the club do the deal personally, but we will see. We'll see who's right in January, and we'll see if any clubs actually do, want to take a chance on Will Asula. In terms of Graham Jones, I'm delighted. I was a little bit nervous when I heard the rumours, because people will say, "Oh, he's only backroom staff," but he's Geordie through and through. Obviously, he has a little stint as manager. His heart's absolutely in the right place. He clearly loves it here. The players clearly react to him. The players really, enjoy working with him. And you want to keep your backroom team. You don't want to start losing your backroom team, because all of a sudden, as we've seen with our previous CEO, bring the one person into the background, it can cause chaos. So for me, let's just keep it settled. Give Graham Jones what he wants. Put whatever numbers you need to put on there. Give him it. Get him a new contract. Make sure he's staying. And I'm really pleased about it. I'm pleased that he's staying at Newcastle.
So you're adding Graham Jones onto the list of contracts that need to get sorted out,
Chris? Yeah. Give him a pay rise. Goodness me, he's doing a great job, and long may that continue. But when people start sniffing around, there's no harm in give him a little bumper before Christmas. That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah, look, Graham Jones, I think is. I think he's quite happy being at Newcastle United. I think this is his hometown club. He loves Newcastle United. He loves being involved in it. I just love watching him interact with the players before and after games. Yeah. I like his role in the team. He has that real personal touch with players that is absolutely crucial. You see the interactions after the game, the banter, the jokey, the serious conversations about certain elements of things, things that Eddie Howe won't do in public, the things that Jason Tindall won't always do in public. And it's great to have that third, like that third entity in that coaching team that can go and do exactly that. I like that. And he's a good coach. We saw that when he came in with Steve Bruce and instantly made us better. I remember that win away at Everton on the back. I think it was his first game in, and I think the tactics changed, the way we played changed, and we ended up going and winning away at Everton, which was always a tough ground for us. And we were brilliant that day, and it was very clear that he came in and made the difference. I want him to stay for as long as he can. It was a part-time basis, so I believe he would have still been at Newcastle United, but it would have been more so international breaks. But I just think it shows his intent to stay at Newcastle United, the fact that he isn't even entertaining it, wants to give all of his time to Newcastle United, and that's enough for me. That's good enough for me. That is for sure. So I'm happy with that. Will Asula, I'll be honest with you, I'm not really fussed either way. I like what he's doing at Newcastle United at the moment. He's coming off the bench. He's making changes. He's affecting the game. But if he's sold, I think we get good money for him. I think we get more money than what we got or were offered in January. But I've said it before and I'll say it again. If we loan him, it's a loan with an obligation. And it's a loan with an obligation that's very much favourable to Newcastle United, because I believe if he went to, say, Frankfurt, I believe he scores goals there. I believe he scores goals and he makes a big difference in their team. And I think they end up selling him. They end up signing him for big money. I agree with Keith Downey when he was on our show. We do need 3 strikers. I think it's been evident in Wisa being missing. We need a third striker. So if Will Asuda is to go, I think we would have to get one in. And that might be, in my opinion, the reason why Will Asuda stays. I think Eddie Howe, Ross Wilson are going to want to do their homework properly on who that third striker is. And I think they might wait until the summer to do that.
And it'll be hard to bring them in January, won't it, Pete? Because any striker worth the salt, the club will not want to let them go in January. So it's a great point.
Yeah, it depends, because the likes of Vlahovic and 1 or 2 others may well be available if you're looking for a player like that.
Leading up to the World Cup as well.
Potentially, players want game time. Exactly. I think there's an element of that as well, but I just have I think I think it's a fluid situation. I think if a player becomes available that is of quality, I think they will then entertain moving Will Asuda on with a loan with an obligation. I think if there's not that player that's available, I think Newcastle will be happy to run with Will Asuda as the third striker, with Wisa being back fit and available. I think it'll be a fluid situation. I think there are other positions that Newcastle will strengthen in January. I think there are 1 or 2 players that may well leave in January, but I think it's a fluid situation with Asuda. But for me, I'm not really fussed either way. If he keeps doing the business for Newcastle United, great. I'm happy. If he gets moved on, we'll get good money for him. Happy days either way. Boys, we'll end with predictions. So obviously Lawless talking about the state of his club. I'm not going to lie, it's giving me a little bit of confidence in this game. So Daz, what would your prediction be on Sunday? What are you going for?
I'm not going to go too crazy here because I think we're going to win, but I'm not going to go. We need to take this game seriously and treat them with a bit of respect as well. That they are home. They have. If they come out with hunger, maybe Nuno he gets to work his magic. I still think we beat them. I'm going to say 2-0.
2-0. Chris, your prediction? What are you going for?
Do you know what, boys? I'll be honest, and maybe I shouldn't say this, but I just can't see West Ham scoring. I just don't see it, and I think that we go out and we try to get an early goal, and I think a second one will follow. I could see it being 2-0 at half time, and I think we'll get a third in the second half, and then I think you'll start seeing the subs. That's genuinely what I think, and I think we'll hang on. And I think it will. I think it will be 3-0, and I feel quite confident on that. So if anyone wants a bet, have a bet on that, because I feel like Aaron, yes, Aaron, I do. I just think we're going to try and get a 2-goal lead going into the half time, hopefully more, and then I think he'll start ringing the changes as soon as we get the third one. I really, really do. So yeah, I'm going to say 3-0 Newcastle.
I'm going to go 2-0 as my initial thought on the result. I think it'll be a 2-0 win, comfortable 2-0 win. I think defensively we are strong. I think we'll get a clean sheet in this game. I think the key to this game is scoring early and really unsettling the home fans. I think if we get an early goal, I think the arms will go up in the air, the boos will start ringing around, and I think that will genuinely affect the players. I would love to go for a 4-0, 5-0 win. We've been and done that before. We are capable of it at West Ham, but we've given those predictions before and been humbled. So I'm going to stay respectful. I do believe we'll win the game. I think we have to win the game. We have to. Well, Aldous did say that before he left. The pressure is on us to a certain extent. We have to go win this. West Ham are in a mess we're pushing up for the table. And I do think that we have to win this game. So for me, I am going to go Newcastle to win 2-0.
That's a controversial one off Tom, that. I'd like to see him score a goal, just not against us, Tom.
Yeah, not against us. I'd like to see him take the ball off Jared Bowen again and mess it up like you did before.
Yeah.
The only thing Wilson
boys.
related.
Oh, sorry, Copy.
No, I was going to say the only thing Wilson related that I want to see on Sunday is Newcastle fans chanting his name. He is, you know, a long-term servant of the club who was brilliant for Newcastle United, and I think Newcastle United fans will do that in the away end. There's no doubt about it. I want us to ring out his name.
Yeah.
Hopefully, he starts and he's on the pitch and he realizes, you know, that we, although he's left, we still love him. I do not want to see Wilson score against Newcastle United. This is part of the reason why I want Botman to be in the team. I want Botman to lock him up big time.
Mm-hmm. Boys, I know we're wrapping up, but I really want to answer this question. It's just come in, and given what day it is tomorrow, so it's a very quick one. Mike Gent says, final question, lads. What's your favourite horror movie? What film was you watching on Halloween?
It's easy for me because I really don't do horror movies. I don't like them. I don't watch them at all. I can go back maybe a good number of years now, 15 odd years or so. Remember the old Saw movies?
Yeah.
So like, I don't know if they're even considered horrors, but they are quite gory. I would say Saw 1 was an absolute classic for me. In terms of the film, because the plot line was just unbelievable,
and it was brand new, wasn't it? And no one had seen it before. I mean, what are we online, like Saw 7 or Saw 8? But it's like you can't know what's going to go on. Yeah,
I think I got to 4 and then I just stopped watching them because they just got even more gory. I'm not into that sort of stuff. That's just not me. But I only liked Saw as a horror movie because it was the storyline behind it. I thought was super clever.
Yeah. That's it.
I don't do horror movies either. Like much like Pete. Maybe Casper. Casper is pretty gruesome. Yeah. Gremlins. I want to actually show that one to my son. That's funny. So Gremlins. But I kind of. We'll get your thoughts here, Chris. First, I have another follow-on Halloween-related question for you. Then.
Oh, go on, mate. Go on. So Mike Gent, by the way, who asked us the question, he says Dream Warriors, Nightmare on Elm Street 3. And put a few pumpkins in there. I like that, Mike. For me, I like The Shining. I don't know whether any of you have seen that film. Like, I remember watching it when I was younger.
Bit of it.
Yeah, it's
I've heard of it.
Yeah, it's eerie. Jack Nicholson, brilliant film. If you get a chance, watch it. I wouldn't say it was. I mean, yeah, it's a scary film, but it's not like gruesome. Do you know what I mean? It's just a bit like whoa.
Is that the banjo one? They're playing the banjo.
No, I don't think so. It's the one that's set in the hotel. It's set in. I won't say anymore, but it's set in a hotel in the middle of nowhere. It's a good film. Jack Nicholson's brilliant anyway, isn't he? But yeah, so I really like The Shining. But for Halloween, do you know what? I a bit like at Christmas, you know, where you go back to your classics. I just love the Halloween films. Jamie Lee Curtis, Michael Myers. I love all that. I think it's great. Lisa doesn't like watching it. Summer likes horror movies, which is a bit weird. She enjoys watching a horror movie with me, so she quite likes that. But yeah, Lisa won't watch them. But yeah, I would say
just like a dad.
Yeah, that's it. We enjoy it. But yeah, I'd say, and if it wasn't Halloween, I'd say The Shining.
I tell you one I have watched. I don't know if it's a horror, so I apologize if it's not. One that I watched and it messed me up just ridiculously. Paranormal Activity.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's horror or not, but like,
you can have that horror.
Like, what is going on? Like, I remember going to bed that night and there was like a loft just above like the room that we're in, and I was like, going to the toilet in the middle of the night, just like rushing in and out. So I was just like, what the, like, I feel like somebody's just going to jump out of me. Like, it's just ridiculous.
Creepy.
Yeah.
Oh, everyone's telling you it's Deliverance. And then
I know, and they're telling me it's not a horror as well. So I don't watch horror. didn't watch hers. But yeah, my question was, are you dressing up for Halloween, boys? Any fancy dress or anything like that?
I mean, go on, Pete. Go on.
No. Go for it.
No, I mean, I'm going to say no, but if given the opportunity, it's in my nature. I like things like that. I have done it in the past, even when I was an adult. Weirdly enough, I do like all stuff like that. I think it's a bit of fun, isn't it? And but I haven't planned anything. I'll be honest. But if something was to occur or an opportunity arose, I wouldn't say no. I wouldn't say no to it. But no plans. No, I will go trick or treating with Summer, but I'll just be myself, which could be horrific enough. I don't know, but I will just be in my normal clothes, and Summer will be dressed up. What about you, Pete?
The reason before we get to Pete's answers, the reason I'm asking is, if we were to win against West Ham, are we dressing up? That was kind of the link in there. Sorry, Pete, get your answer.
Well, I don't know if I wasn't planning on dressing up. If we were.
You are now, Pete. You are now.
But you've thrown a spanner in the works there. But in terms of tomorrow, possibly, because my boy will be on Halloween duty. He'll be going around with all of his friends from school, but it's normally the mums that do it. Like there's like a mums group that go around together, and like the dads don't normally get involved in it. Like, but I'm normally the one that does kind of our house duties. So like whilst they're out and about, I've got I'm opening the door and doing the trick or treating, and that's kind of the role that we play. Like the mums do that, and the dads stay at home and do the door handing out and all the rest of it, and keep that ticking over. So that's kind of
it's an honourable job, and it's an important job.
It is, and normally I wear my Newcastle top doing it. So I'm always not that that's a horror. It's a horror for a lot of the trick or treaters that are wearing Leicester City tops. Because they look at us and they see where we are and where they are, and so it's a delight for me. It's a horror for them. So that's how it works.
Cool. Yeah, for me, because we have an event on tomorrow. My wife is been part of organising a thing in the school, so it's like a fancy dress thing. So
So Jordan Team for Life talking about spiders. Don't do spiders. I don't do spiders. Don't start that. Right. I have to do bed check before I get in on spiders. And you know what? During the summer, I got into bed, and I was honestly, I just like it must have been like just checking the transfer news just before I went to sleep. I was scrolling through, and then all of a sudden I just saw something just drop in between me and the phone, and it was like this monster spider. It dropped from the ceiling right in between me. And the missus is sleeping behind me, and the whole bed went up. I was like, get that piece of crap away from me. And it was like literally, I don't like going near them, but it got the fist of fury, squash, done. Like I had to get rid of it. It was nightmare, absolutely.
Oh, look at this as well, Georgine yesterday. I got trauma from spiders. One big motherfucker crawling on me during the summer. Oh, mate, I can't deal. Yeah, I can't. I'm not scared of anything other than spiders. I can't. I just can't.
My nephew's currently living in Australia.
And, mate, I couldn't do it. I couldn't even go.
He's been there for nearly a year, and like it's Lee's boy, and he's been there for nearly a year, and like Lee will go over and see him soon, and I'm just like, I'd love to go, but I can't. Mate. I can't touch. I will never. I'll say it very clearly now. I will never step foot on Australian soil.
No.
The spiders, the snakes, the foolishness that has been created on this earth, that's all situated in Australia, I will never ever step foot there. There is no chance whatsoever that you will ever get me anywhere near Australia for that reason. You got no chance. There is no money in the world is ever getting me in Australia. Right?
It's in Africa this year, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's in
Is
Africa.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's in
yeah.
Africa.
So you might go.
Maybe, but there's still a lot of foolishness there that is going to be.
Yeah.
I'm never going to be willing to go to those places.
Hey, how can you contemplate, like, even go for a week, 2 weeks, whatever it may be? I can't imagine just constantly waking up of a morning and thinking, right, oh, I need the loo, go in the toilet. Is there anything under the thing? Because guaranteed you'd stop doing that, wouldn't you? After a while, you'd just go, I'll be sad, I'll be all right. And just imagine, like, opening your cupboards, or, you know, going on the toilet or anything, and then this big massive oh, mate, no.
You remember Martin telling us about that story? And
Yeah,
his mate,
yeah.
where he was on break at work. I tell it to my kids at school as a reason why I'd never go to Australia. He said his mate was on his break at work or something, went back, went on the loo, sat down, and then, like, there was a spider underneath the seat of his toilet, bit him whilst he was on the toilet, and he was there. He was dead, like, within minutes. He was there for days. Like, someone had to go to his house to find him because he never went back to work. People had to go and check on him. Like you think hearing those type of stories is going to encourage me to go there? You've got no chance. It's bad enough in this country. We don't have any spiders that are relatively poisonous.
Not yet, but climate change, Pete. You never know. You never know, Pete.
Hey,
you never know.
I'm moving to Iceland. if that
you know what?
I'm going further north.
You know where you're safe? Congo. Congo is the place to be, Pete. That's where you need to move to.
Lock off the show. Lock off the show. We are done.
No,
we are done.
Right. Well, that's it. Boys, I'm surprised you didn't mention the hype button, because I had something special for the hype button.
I know. Well, yeah. Well, somebody mentioned the hype button, and I will bring it up now. Here we go. Genieste. Hit the like and hype button. It will be visible 5 minutes after the show ends. Thank you for that.
Okay. So, and I hit my first hype button today, by the way, but this is what we need to say anymore. That's it.
Anyone would
I'm
think
trying to use that every show now. Every show.
Someone would think it was a Friday night. Get that hype button. And actually, just add, the hype button last night was hit fantastically well. Oh. Huge numbers of hypes. So, legends, people. Get those hypes hit.
Did anyone near have a heart attack at home when that music came on? Because that was loud.
Do you want to go again?
Yeah, do it again.
See you on the show.
Yeah.
Right. Good night, everyone. We shall see you in the next one. We'll just end in the hype. Right. See you on Reaction Show on Sunday.
Yes. 3 points.
Fully fancy dressed out, yeah?
We'll see.